Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Intellect Selectah podcast brought to you by Hubbards.com. Today we have an aerial master, an awesome human being, father, husband, 3-time world champion, 5-time pipeline champion in the sport of bodyboarding. He's a business owner at Hubbard's Bodyboarding, where they sell everything you need for bodyboard equipment: boards, leashes, wetsuits, fins, and so much more. Let's give it up for Jeff Hubbard. Hey, all right, guys. Thanks again, Jeff Hubbard, for taking the time out and allowing us to get to know your journey and your mindset here at the Intellect Selectah podcast.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me on here, Tim. Super stoked to be a part of this, and it's a perfect timing in the world we're living in to get amongst it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Maybe it's the intention is there. It's just for people to get to know some of my idols growing up, and I'm from the Pacific Islands, so you're definitely one of the heroes that, as far as surf and positive influence, you know, is concerned, because you're doing a lot of big things, and we'll hopefully get to that towards the end. But yeah, just play it by ear.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you. I always tried it. That's like part of the thing about being when you're a professional athlete, you just want to make sure you're a good influence on the younger kids. I remember that's how it was for me growing up. Like, you wanted to have good influences. Like, you see people, and certain people were doing good things, and you wanted to be like them. So it helps. It really helps perpetuate it. And if you can, do that and perpetuate good vibes and good leadership, and lead by example, I think it does really help in society. So
Yeah,
we all do our part, in every little way we can. It's really cool for the next generation.
definitely. So you were born in Kauai, and I kind of want to know, who were those positive influences? Who were your idols? Who were your mentors when you were growing up?
I think I had there was a lot of really great bodyboarders from Kauai that I was able to, idolize and, look up to and have good interactions with when I was coming up in some of my formative years. I think, it obviously starts with some of your friends and the older kids around you. And then as you start to look up to some people that are like really, really like doing big good things in their fields, and that kind of feel like untouchable. And when you kind of become friends with them and meet them and see how they actually are, it's really special. So I mean, I had a lot of the Kauai Classic generation. Those guys were all a lot older than I was, so they were in the water and doing their thing, and I got to really look up to them. That's Kyle Maligro and Harry Atapala and Chris Tenberg, those guys. And I was fortunate enough to be able to like surf with them and see them, interact with them a lot as a younger kid. And then as I got a little older, Chris Burkhardt was from the same island I was, and he was a real mentor to me, and he was a really good influence on me as a young man. Individually taught me a lot. And someone like that comes in and gives their time and energy, trying to teach you and give you some good advice along the way. It's really helpful.
Definitely. And that's so cool. I mean, for you to be, because on Guam, for us, we always feel like, man, it's like kind of us against the world. And for you to be, from a small island like that, and gain worldwide recognition for all your time in your craft, and from striving for it, to it materializing, to you being the best in the world, to now where you're throwing surf competitions locally, you're doing beach cleanups, and it seems like that seems to be like the surfers kind of life cycle in a way. And it's pretty cool to talk to a world champion. um when you were growing up, did you know that, with that guidance from your mentors, did you know, like, were you all in, or were you just trying to be like the best you could be at that time? What
I
would
think once I started doing it, at obviously you want to be a world champion. Once you're like, you set your mind to something and you're really trying to go full steam ahead, and you feel like that's like something you can do as a career, like you feel things are obtainable, you always feel like that's the end goal. I feel like with any sport, that someone starts and is taking really seriously, they're always looking towards that last final goal, something they can really do. I think, if you're not taking it that serious, then of course you're not thinking that far ahead. But if you're, really serious, which most people are at some stage, you're always thinking about that final goal, and you're just trying to, chip away to get to it, how you can get to it and achieve it.
definitely. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, obviously that would take a lot of work ethic. I mean, for those days in your beginning days, how, what was the transition like from like, okay, I'm gonna surf to, dude, I gotta take this serious. I gotta go for the big barrels. I gotta go for the big aerials. Um, was there a switch? Was there a like a
No, I think, the surfing stuff comes easy, is like what you're going to do in the water. That should be pretty natural. Like if with any athlete, that's not like it's the training. Like, okay, what extra time are you going to spend doing, doing the things, doing the stuff you don't want to do, doing the stuff that's not always super fun. If you're going out and surfing, getting to surf great waves and big waves, it's super fun, and you're going to, naturally just try and excel. I think anyone is going to try and go out there and have fun and do great things. But to try and push yourself on the flip side of it and do the things that lead up to being able to do the great things in those moments, that's always the hard part, and that I think everyone usually overlooks. And those little details about the it's definitely not a struggle by any means. It's, for the professional bodyboarder or surfer,
yeah?
but it's like just stuff you have to go, you have to, take serious. And it gives you that confidence to do great things. You keep your body in shape, you're going and working out, you're not eating, you're not partying, you're not eating poorly, you're doing extra workouts, you're surfing all the time, you're surfing in the bad conditions, in the good conditions, no matter what, you're kind of constantly doing that. And so if you don't do those things, you're definitely not going to, have a chance to succeed all the way to your full potential.
I see. Were you always such like a driven person? I mean, I know you've completed your master's. I mean, you're such a determined. I mean, on paper, it looks like you're this freaking determined beast, dude. I mean, you do the Hubbards, you do the business, right? The Hubbards. Um,
Yeah.
you do social media. I mean, you wear many hats. You're a father, a husband. I mean,
I
it's
think yeah, thanks, Tim. I'm glad it looks that way. It's definitely something that when you, you learned, I think it's a trait that's learned. It's not something you're kind of natural at. I think it's something you have to learn to be determined, and like you realize what hard work gets you. I think once you have a taste of that, I think
mhm,
that's what it is. It's like, if you don't realize that putting in work leads to reward, you won't do it. It's like anything in life. If you think that, the reward's just going to come naturally, well,
mhm,
then that's how you're not going to put in hard work, because you don't need to. So it's
mhm.
like for me, I always realized I had to put in the work to be better, or to do better and to become better. That's just how it was naturally for me. I realized that maybe I think wrestling, I was a high school wrestler, and so I
Oh, cool.
realized I think that's probably where I learned that trait. Is I could see it. Wrestling's an individualistic sport. You don't rely on anyone, and so if you don't do the work, and you're not going to be able to succeed. That's just how it is. And so you have to train, and you have to do certain things, and it's you're up against another person. There's nothing else. Only person that's getting you there is you. You can't be better than the next that guy on the mat if you're not physically fit and doing being stronger, or being faster or quicker, or doing the things that
Mhm.
make you better, and even the mindset as well. Like, so it's just a whole thing. I learned it from there for sure. And once I got a taste of that, like, okay, if I put in work, I'm going to be successful. Then it was very easy to translate that into every other aspect of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you have to do it. Nothing's just handed to you. You have to always work at it.
Definitely. And I think you're very blessed because a lot of people they work very hard and maybe the it was bad timing for, to grow or make money from the sport at that time because back in the day, right, you guys it was tough. It was tough to get sponsors. It was I mean, I'm pretty sure they weren't just throwing it out, back in your beginning days.
I think there was way more money being thrown out back then. Way
Oh,
more.
really?
Oh yeah, much more, tons more. There's hardly any now. It's like now
Oh.
it's total opposite. It's like now back then there's a lot more opportunity for sponsorships and getting out there. And it's a two way street. One probably social, bunch of factors. We don't have to get into them, but anyhow,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's just how it was. And then and it's not that the kids nowadays don't have opportunity. They definitely do. There's definitely more ways to get out there and become known and there's easier understanding of how to do it maybe for the
Mm.
kids, and you can get famous on social media real quick these days, depending on how hard you work at it. But I think back then there's definitely a lot more money being available to those who really pushed out there and
Wow,
pushed
that's
hard.
interesting. Yeah.
It was just a different time. I think
Hmm.
it's just a different time. That's just it's really interesting for sure. And
I feel
it's
like
across the board, surfing and bodyboarding. It's with I would say it's with all action sports.
yeah.
Those
Wow.
those late '90s to early all the way through the 2000
Hmm.
were had a lot
Prime
of
time.
opportunity. Yeah, even
Dang,
before
that's
that.
super
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
But you're right. I mean, like I feel like back in the day it was about building the brand, building the team, everybody's riding. Now a kid's just got to do one of your air reverse rolls and he's freaking famous already, like just to land one of those and get his boys to film it. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many opportunities. Like you said, it's
Mhm.
such an interesting perspective on that. I had it all wrong. Shoot. Dang, that's crazy. That's a interesting insight. So like I see like you are well known for your aerial maneuvers
Definitely.
and giant. I mean like so what was the problem like the boards that you were using weren't giving you enough speed so you decided to make your own technologies and stuff like that and dig deep in your brand and like how was that for you?
I think it was like an evolution. We were sponsored riders, and the next evolution was to run our own company and create products that worked and we had total control of. And the way what was happening was so that that was something we were doing regardless, and just the evolution of the products from that stage onward were just geared towards just making it better, more high performance, more fun. Just
Mm-hmm.
the idea was like, okay, what makes bodyboarding fun is, well, if you have good equipment and you're able to have more speed and do better moves and land your moves, like those are things that all our we work on for our products, and so
Mm-hmm.
make sure they're better at that than other than the competition and what works for us. So we figure that'll work for other people too. So we
Yeah.
really just the design element of our products is something we take a lot of pride in, and we
Mm-hmm.
always have done that since the beginning. Obviously there's some the revolutionary processes with like the quad core technology. That's something I had to come up with because there was a shortage of a certain type of core that worked really good in the past, and then that wasn't being manufactured anymore. So we had to find ways to be able to keep doing what I like to do, and that's like have that same feeling flying high. So I had to create a core that's really going to do that work for me. And
Dude,
so
that's crazy.
yeah,
Um, you know, it's crazy. Did like when you're going out to pipe or one of these big waves like chopes, um, I probably said it wrong, but when you're in Tahiti, you're in all these Pacific Island spots, even on Guam, where I'm from, it's like you're doing these giant maneuvers and you're just hoping you land on the upwater spray so you don't just land straight into the 3 foot or 4 foot flat. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw you mentioned you had some difficult injuries as well in throughout your career, broke your back and your legs and stuff. I mean, what kept you going? What was your drive? I mean, you had the
I just love
notoriety.
bodyboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just love going and bodyboarding and doing stuff. That's just what makes me happy. So I mean, it's just natural. It's like, hey, if that stuff doesn't, if you don't have a passion for it, you're not going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it helps
That's
to have the
what it
best
is.
job in the world, right? That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, and it's not just I'm going out and surfing when it's junk. I mean, there's no reason for me to go surf like bad waves or waves when no one's filming anymore. But like, I just go do it because I love going and bodyboarding. It's
Hmm.
something that's in my nature. I enjoy it so much. I'm going to go stay healthy, have fun. It's just something fun and healthy that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, regardless of if it's going to um, you know kind of put food on my family's
Hmm.
table. I just does something I love to do. Even if I didn't own my own company, I'd still be doing it.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just something I enjoy doing that much.
Yeah, it's crazy because like bodyboarding is like humble style. Like, a lot of bodyboarders they would like in the beginning for me it was like either surf or bodyboard. And I didn't have money to bodyboard. I mean, I didn't have money to buy a surfboard, so I borrowed someone's bodyboard, and it's free. It's a free activity,
Exactly. It's free.
and it
It's
was
fun.
amazing. It's super. It's like less expensive than buying a bicycle or it's
Yeah.
totally free, dude. And
Yep.
the people
Super.
in bodyboarding are huge. Like they're amazing people. They're givers, they're not takers.
Yes. That's
It's
right. They're good
amazing.
vibes. Yeah, it's a really good community, and it's like a third world sport. Basically, it's like almost free to do. Bodyboards and fins. You can get a decent setup for under $200. Like you can't get a good
Hmm.
a good BMX bike or something like that where you're going to go do stuff or mountain bike for the same
Hmm.
thing or any other sport. So I mean, it's really something special, and being in the water is just that charge and that positivity you get. I think it's like you get the positive and negative ions from the salt water, just giving you
Definitely.
such a good bath, and just like your aura is just completely changed just going into the salt water in the
Hmm.
sun, and just like outdoor activities. It's like you come in just so pumped, regardless if you were like doing crazy stuff out there. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, like waves, small waves, or you go out there and just have you just have fun doing what you can. You come in and there's just your whole day is better.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Even when you're waiting for sets too, it's like you got a live aquarium. There's like freaking cool little
Totally.
fish swimming around you. It really brings the appreciation to nature, especially for us islanders. We most of us islanders we grew up, pretty humble, and we
Hmm.
always share stuff, and sharing whether it's sharing boards, sharing fins, sharing food after the
Yeah,
sessions. I mean, it's
exactly.
really it's
It's a
huge, and
special
yeah.
thing.
It's
You're
crazy
right.
how it's also for you, like you become like full circle, like growing up, watching your career. It's such a long one. You have so much
Yeah,
longevity, dude. And it's such a blessing that you keep on surfing, man. And a lot of the older guys know you, and it's
well,
it's
thanks.
cool to see you giving back and at this stage now. It's like it's huge. You got the keki, the what is it? The
Yeah, the Keiki Fest in
yeah.
Waimanalo. That's like year 13. I've been doing that. I think this year 12 or 13. I mean, I kind of forgot, but it's so great that event just stokes that those young kids out. It's a free contest for like 15 and under kids, on Oahu,
Super cool.
and a lot of them don't have money to enter a contest, or so much money, but they all have bodyboards, and they're all going to go out to the beach and can play at Sherwood's, and that's just their summer life. So we do that every summer, and hopefully we'll be able to do it this summer. That's the goal with this virus thing. We're just
Hopefully,
hoping that
man.
hopefully we can still do that and provide that service for the kids. It's like that's something we hope the community. I'm going to do it as long as the state gives me the permit. So that's the thing. They might not allow the permit or not. We'll see. But if they give us the permit, it's all systems go. And then we've been doing the Kauai event. We started that last year, like a pro-am contest. So that we've been doing, and that this is going to be its second year, fingers crossed again with the same issue. But yeah, I got a nonprofit now with Chris Burkhardt and called Kaikeha. And so that nonprofit's, set up to like give back to the young youth of Hawaii, engaging in the ocean sports and trying to create a mentorship program and teach kids, give them the opportunities to learn about the ocean and the values it brings, to our society. So hopefully we can continue doing that and just get people together again and just create that vibe and stoke. That's kind of the goal. With life seems to be on hold right now. And so it's like, okay, after this passes, we hope everyone can get back together and become a community again. And I think those events, those gatherings are going to be even stronger and be more vibrant, and people are really going to relish them because they miss them right now. And
Definitely.
so, some people aren't able to go to the beach in certain areas of the world. And so I think people are just going to go to the beach even more. So it's just going to be really, really special. So I'm really hoping that, all this stuff passes and we get back to real life.
It's really crazy.
We're all living a real life, but it's like the life with other people. Because right now we're living a great life individually with our families, but to be able to go and live it with friends, it's a whole different animal.
Definitely, I think the companion part of it, your boys, your camaraderie, sharing ideas, that's huge. It's very important.
It is.
Hopefully, like you said, these guys, hopefully it will positively impact the community and maybe steer our mentality to, just not so negative. I think in today's society, the younger generations kind of shitting on everybody, and they think it's cool. But hopefully, I don't know, we can like have a retrospect or like dig inside of ourselves and analyze what's cool, what's not, and it's cool. I mean, we try to take the best, right, Jeff? We try to take the best out of this situation, and dude, it's
that's all you can do is just stay positive. And I think that's the goal with everyone is just to stay positive, and it might give people a new lease on life, and hopefully it's going to open up, become a better future for us because of this. You hope that's all we can hope for and look towards.
Even for like small businesses too. Like, I mean, everyone's trying to come together for each other. A lot of restaurants are suffering right now. It's crazy. I was talking to Manny V about it, and it's just, we're just trying to take the positives out of it. And
exactly. And how we can stay positive and stay vigilant to make the world a better place at the end of the day. Like, hey, we're still in the day, we'll all still be alive, and we just got to make sure we can make this place better and happier, and however we can do that, I think at the end of the day will be cool.
Yeah, it would. It's crazy. It sucks. Super off topic, and the podcasts seemingly just go there. It's just such a reality, and we just gotta freaking stay clean, and I don't know. It's nuts, man. And when it comes to like your mentality before preparing for these world championships, I mean, for the comps that actually would make you world champion, was there any shift in mindset of how you're going to prepare for these types of events, or what was your mindset? Did you clear your mind? Did you, overthink things so you can figure them out? Was it a blend of both, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think with anything, you just so like concentrated on this one goal you have, you get like uber focused, and it can go two ways. It's like it's either going to go, positive or negative for you, but you don't have that. You're just trying to control everything you can in that moment, and in those moments and leading up to it, and trying to do everything you can to stay positive and stay focused and stay confident. So there's a lot of, and stay prepared. So there's so much stages to it, and so many like different aspects of like training for like a contest that's going to define your life. So it's like, even that, you can do all the hard work all year long, and then it comes to one contest at the very end, it's just still the same. You have to just perform that event. And
Yeah.
it's cool. And
Dude,
sometimes it
that's
doesn't come
crazy.
down to you. It comes down, if you've done all the hard work all year long, sometimes it comes down to, did the other guy, train hard enough and do, did he get lucky, or did what in those situations? So it's in bodyboarding, you're dealing with Mother Nature. So it's like, it's so difficult to like, quantify everything. And that's what's so special about our sport, is that you don't, it's never a level playing field. So you're just dealing with what comes with you. Your choices are all made with certain variables and certain calculations that, you don't have concrete data to do that. So it's really always really interesting. I think that's what makes it so special and so unique and so fun at the end of the day, for people to be engaged in it and watch it and be a part of it. It keeps you real drawn coming back. I mean, if you go and you're able to do the same thing every wave, you're going to get pretty bored.
Yeah.
But that's just, but you're going out every day. It's, it's changing. That's what's so cool about bodyboarding. You're catching different waves. The waves are different. Everything's always a little different out there. And, you go surf a new wave and have such a new experience, and go surf with your friends and have a different experience than if you're surfing by yourself. That's what's so cool. It's makes bodyboarding so special, I think, because of that.
Yeah, I mean, all the beautiful places that your eyes have seen, dude. I mean, with your friends, like you said, that are fellow like-minded professionals, or just, your brother, Dave. I mean, that's so freaking cool. Like, you've prepared yourself educationally for life and still chose to do what you love and try to incorporate everything in together to, have a maximum benefit. And I think you're a prime example for us to follow, and it's transferable knowledge that can apply to many, many other things. And I really applaud you for those things, dude. It's pretty
Thanks, Tim.
cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those bodyboarding is one of those things. It's not going to make you rich, so
Yeah.
it's like you're just doing it's a passion play. You're just basically going and doing it for the love of it, and it's a lifestyle. So like, I'm trying to live this lifestyle, and I'm choosing bodyboarding because it's my passion. It's what I love. So if you do it, I could go make a lot of money doing something else for sure. That's just, I have those skill sets, but like, that's not my passion. I'm not trying to make the most money in the world. I'm not trying to be the richest person. I just want to have a great, happy life with my family and be able to just be smiling and happy at the end of the day. And I think that's, something you learn along the way of your journey. Like, what makes you happy is probably how you live your life is going to be the most important things that you can value, and what put your emphasis towards.
Definitely. I think it also comes down to like gratitude, and giving back, and that's the stage I see you on.
Definitely
And
blessed, very blessed,
it's
very
super
blessed to
cool,
be able to
man.
do what I'm doing. I agree. We're very lucky to be able to be in the positions we are. Most humans that we're alive, and if you have a roof over your head, you have food in your mouth. That's just already, man, you already won. And if you take it to another level, if you're smiling and happy, man, that's just such a blessing. And if you can keep thinking that way, your life will just be so much better. Like, you can't, if you're always thinking about the positives and always trying to be thankful and look at the good side of things, you think that your life is going to be so much better. And that's just a cool thing to think of.
Hmm. It's such a powerful thing. Like, if you want to be happy, then you really have to be happy, right? And
Yeah.
and then you're traveling to different parts of the world. You're seeing, people less fortunate than you. I mean, you're doing a lot of um, self research. Then you store that in, and
Yeah,
then like you
sure.
give it back. It's so cool. I don't know, man. I'm just stoked to have a podcast where I can talk to world champions, and all of them, I ask them typically the same stuff, and all of them have the same type of answer, but a
Oh, cool.
different answer. So it's
Yeah, yeah,
entertaining for the guests.
that's great.
So okay, but that's all good. That's all cool, positive, and everything. How did you overcome like some mental obstacles like self doubt? Like, What did you do? Did you just grind more in the
Yeah, I think
ocean?
self doubt is a tough one, because it's all something your belief. If you have that, it's your belief, and so the only way to overcome that belief is to find a new belief that compensates
Replaces it.
for it,
Mm-hmm.
places it. Like, okay, well, what are you afraid of? Why is there self doubt? Well, or what is this fear? Where's it presenting itself from, and why is it? So you have to just
Mm-hmm.
figure those answers out and find out, well, what's the worst thing that can happen, and what's the, where does that leave you? And so if you
Mm-hmm.
can go down all the steps and you can find out the root of the problem and the root of the fear, and you can overcome that, then it kind of wipes out wipes the rest of it out. So it's like a big tree with a weed. If you go down to the root and the cause of it, you pull it out, then
Mm-hmm.
that weed disappears. So you really have to dive deep, and there's weeds sprout up real quick, back up again. So you just always have to make sure you pull it out from the root again. So that's where you have to go all the time, and just like, okay, rethink it and just understand, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
nope, I'll be fine if this happens or whatever happens. So I'm okay with that, and I can do this, and just pull
Yeah.
it right out, so that self-doubt isn't there, and so you can just live a really complicated free life. I guess if
Yeah,
you're
dude. It's all
you're
about
really
refining. You got to refine it, right? Like
yeah
it's crazy. Sorry to interrupt you, man. Shoot, that's all gold, and um, I guess yeah, you're right. You just got to replace that negative, self-defeating talk. Ask yourself why you're thinking like that. What's the worst that can happen if it does happen? You're not gonna die. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah
I think we make these problems huge, and I figure like as long as we're in the moment now, there's no room for self doubt to even occur.
yeah
It's very complicated. I don't know. It's pretty cool. You nailed it right there, dude. Like pulling the weeds, guys. Pull the weeds, everyone.
yeah. You got to go to the root. You got to go, and you got to keep pulling them. It's because they'll
Hmm.
sprout right. And if you get them while they're small, you can get them easier. If you let it
Yeah.
grow when it's too big, you can't. It's a harder process. So if you manually do that weed pulling a lot, then it's super simple.
Yeah, dude.
Not super simple, but it's easy. It becomes a much easier task.
Hmm. Yeah. And then you just have this beautiful garden where you can be like, oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
created this. This is nice. I
yeah,
created a life that is nice to me, and it's cool.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I just love digging into you guys' mindset. It's fascinating. It really is. It's truly fascinating. And such a high level, huh, Jeff? You're freaking top of the top of the heap of hard workers in the sport of bodyboarding. And you know, like you said, you're dealing between Mother Nature, so I guess you kind of gotta let it just the cards fall where it may, and hope that's kind of
yeah.
that's
That's
kind
just
of
how
it,
it
right
is.
there.
And yeah, you have to. That's how it is. And I think it's um, one of those things is in life. It depends, if with any sport or business. I think you have to be, a little bit competitive, and so you have to, how you figure out how you can use that competitive energy to best fit, your goals. And so that's you have
Definitely.
to figure out how to drive yourself into those, how that energy is going to drive you into a positive place, and use it wisely.
And always have the end goal in mind, and kind of like I don't know, I kind
Exactly.
of I
Yeah,
start from the
exactly. Yeah.
back. Yeah, I start from the back, right? I'm like, this is what I want to do. I start from the back, and then I go down the trail, and then I go to where I am, and then I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the first step. This is what I got to
Yeah.
do here. Like,
Exactly. There's always a first step, and there's always
hmm
the end goal. So you have to do both. You have to create your end goal where you want to be, and then you actually have to go and start following the steps to get there,
hmm
the pathway. And then because it doesn't just magically happen, it's not just going
hmm
to appear. You have to figure out how exactly you're going to get there, and go on the journey, start the journey and finish it. And
yeah,
the journey's the fun part too. That's like that's the part
it's
you have your memories of, and you relish and you enjoy thinking back to that journey. And so you have way more memories of the journey because it's so much longer than the end goal. So I mean,
hmm
that's the cool part. Like, that end goal is, kind of a fleeting moment that you'll reach, and then it's kind of gone. But what you remember is that journey, and if you're successful, and then even if you're not, you remember the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's cool. And so the journey usually at the end, even if you don't achieve your final goal, you're going to get pretty close. You're going to get closer than you would if you didn't start that journey. So you're going to still have a lot of good things come from that journey. It's going to be real positive regardless of the end and result.
And it's also who you become from that person on day one to wherever, however far along in the journey you are, but who you became is like, that's the reward. It's like, I became this insecurity, knocking out fear person, pulling the weeds. And I feel like so much more stronger from it, and
Yeah.
you build that character, then empathy comes in, then you start to want to give more, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, what you got any new obsessions right now?
New obsessions, man. Not right now, not at the moment. I'm just trying to, I think there's a lot of things I want to start to learn. It seems like we're going to be stuck in this little process for a little while here of what's going on globally. So there's a few things I want to try and learn. And you're always trying to learn. I think education is always a really good thing. You always better yourself by by learning a lot of new skills. And so there's some new skills I think I need to sharpen up on and practice. And so I'm going to try and devote some time to that, in the next, month, because I think it's going to be another month of this, at least. Hopefully it just clears up within a month. That's what my hope is, but we don't know. And I don't think any of us really know. And it's one of those things. It's we'll just cross those bridges when we come to it.
Definitely, dude. I think we're all going through it, and it's freaking insane, dude. The whole economic structure is probably, it's just gonna take a huge hit, and everything is just gonna be, everyone's starting ground zero. It seems like, and we just gotta be there for each other.
Yes, exactly. It's some empathy and understanding where people are at, and not asking too much, and not expecting too much from everyone. That's, I think, another thing is our expectations should, we should, bring those. We can align our expectations for everything, and I think that's pretty helpful. And you don't have to expect so much and try and achieve so much. You can just take pleasure in the little things, the little victories along the way. I think that'll be really helpful if everyone focuses on the small things, the small steps, rather than the big end result.
Yeah, definitely, man. Man, Jeff, I don't want to keep you too long. I think we got extremely a lot of value for our listeners on the Intellect Selectah podcast. Is there any way, or where can we find you? It's going to be in the link in the description below, but if you want to, the floor is yours. If you want to plug anything.
Oh, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I would definitely, plug our brand, my company, Hubbard. You can find us on hubboards.com, and you can visit our website and learn about us and our products, and that's great. And you can find me on Instagram, and you got Hubbard's Instagram and JD Hub Instagram, that we're on there. And there's email, if anyone wants to reach out to me, direct messages or emails, you can find all the information on our website, Hubbard's website. So yeah, that's how to do it. And yeah, thanks for having me. This is really fun, and it's just nice to have a nice conversation and talk about fun, kind of positive things and good memories, and maybe in giving back a little bit of that experience and those ideas that maybe can help someone else. So I'm glad to be able to share. Hopefully there's some nuggets in there that might resonate with someone, and hopefully it helps. So
yeah,
thanks. Super cool.
Yeah, man, you're awesome. Thank you so much for freaking the time, dude. We're such a small podcast. It's really cool when you big guys, help out the younger dudes, and we really appreciate it over here, bro. And
you're welcome, man. Take care, and just stay safe over there, everyone. And we'll see you guys on this other side of this.
Right on. Later, Jeff. Thank you, man. Take it
Much
easy,
aloha,
man.
guys. Mahalo.
Shoot. Once again, thank you so much to Jeff Hubbard. Guys, go check out his website, hubbards.com, and go show some support. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. Check out the links in the description below. Thank you so much. Mahalo, Jeff. Shoot.